When you heard Battlefield 2042 was coming out, what were your expectations of it? I know they weren't met, but ultimately, it doesn't seem to matter. What were your expectations for the game? Now, we'll talk about why it failed. Now that the dust has settled and I can look back at everything, I've developed an opinion that might surprise you.
Like and subscribe.
Battlefield 2042, no doubt, one of the worst starts in absolutely the franchise's history, which is saying something, but quite possibly video game history. I don't think there's any clean way to say it. The game sucked.
Preach,
Why
brother.
did it suck though? Was it just that the fact that it was an unplayable mess? Was it the hero system? I don't know. Let's explore this. Battlefield 2042 sucks. It doesn't suck so much now, but it sucked when it first came out. Terrible game. It's easy to look over now, but the game sucked so bad when it first came out. I mean, it didn't even have a scoreboard.
Yeah, no
That's right. When you were
scoreboard.
trying to see how you did against everybody else on the server, well, there was just no way to do it. It was terrible. Like, a ton of core features missing. I mean, server browser. How hard is it to let people choose their own server?
Yeah,
Not only that, but there's a ton of people out there who want to host their own server so that they can make special game modes and stuff. This has been a core feature forever, and they just snatched it. They snatched it. They took it away from us. It was BS. There was a lot here that people wanted, and they just didn't deliver. It made a lot of people sour. Now let's take it back a minute. Let's talk about where Battlefield lies in the realm of video games, okay? A lot of people have always seen it as kind of a direct competitor to COD. I don't really necessarily think that's the case. Personally, I enjoy both games pretty equally. I've always leaned more toward Battlefield, but for different reasons. Battlefield to me has always been like the casual's milsim. You know, if you don't want to fire up Arma, you just want to jump right into a good shooter, lots of targets, get out there and just start shooting, taking some objectives. Battlefield. You want to be able to fly around in a helicopter without a real pilot's license? Battlefield. You don't need 15 different ways to crouch? Battlefield. Jump in the Battlefield series. You'll have fun. It's also a great place because console players can enjoy it with you. Now, that hasn't always been the case because there hasn't been crossplay, but because it was always released on the other systems, I could sit down on my couch, controller in hand, and enjoy my time very relaxedly with friends in a Battlefield game. It was great. DICE just said and pooped all over that idea. They said, nah, man, you don't need that. We got wingsuits and grappling hooks and a shield character. And all of our medics are super OP. You don't need features. Who wants to talk in game? Who wants that? Nobody needs to talk in game in a combat shooter. What do you think, you're tactical or something? Learn some goddamn hand signals. Oh, and did you want to play with your friends?
I wish
Like,
I
you know,
had friends.
in a squad? Tough. Can't let you do that. This is Battlefield. No team playing Battlefield. And from the perspective of DICE, the fact that you want to play as like just some random soldier on the battlefield, it's frankly insulting. Nuh-uh, man. Not in our Battlefield. You got to be a hero. You need to have a backstory. You need to be this person. And yeah, you know what? We don't even care about what country you're from because you're not even a patriot of anything. You're just a mercenary, man. You're not even a mercenary, but you have gadgets and you have a perk. And gosh darn it, that's how we'll fight. I don't give a crap if everybody on the battlefield does look the same. Okay. Now, despite all that, despite all the technical difficulties, all the changes to gameplay, everything, what was DICE and EA's carnal sin in Battlefield 2042?
No kitty cat?
Expectations. They failed to meet the expectations of their player base. It's as simple as that. When people see a Battlefield title, they expect a certain type of game. They could have just recycled the old formula, added some new maps, definitely more guns, and they would have been fine. Slap the old character models in there. We don't care. You might be able to update some of the things to higher resolution. In the end, doesn't matter. We just wanted a Battlefield game that didn't have to do with World War II. Let's make that very clear. I personally barely paid V or 1 because I don't like the World War type style games.
no
I like the
World
modern
War.
combat stuff. With that said, I was dire for a new Battlefield game, and they failed to meet the players' expectations with it. They really seem to have a problem in their business model where they stand over their community and they say, this is what you'll like because I made it. They come down from the mountain on high and they say, behold, Battlefield 2042, bask in all of its glory. And we all looked at it and we played the betas and we played the game, especially at launch if you could get in it. And we went, this ain't Battlefield, man. What did you do? The game at first was just complete trash. It was garbage. There was no good way to put it. I tried. I really, really tried. I played and I played and I played and I kept telling myself, it's Battlefield. You'll like it. You'll enjoy it. You're having fun. These are the lies I had to tell myself. I wasn't. I hated it. I really did. I tried in so many ways, but the game was just missing so much and it felt so half-ass that I couldn't do nothing but just shake my head and turn it off. I literally uninstalled. Now there's a bunch of people probably going, uninstalled the game. Yeah, I did. It was terrible. You were probably there too and you uninstalled it as well, as you should have. But I held out because in the back of my mind I said, this is just like Battlefield 4. Where the first month is going to be completely unplayable. It's going to be a trash mess. A dumpster fire, if you will. I went back. The game still sucked. It wasn't just a server issue. It was literally the game was terrible. Now, there's a silver lining to all this because the game doesn't suck now. I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. There is a ton of fun things to do. There's missions now. I enjoy unlocking the weapons. I enjoy the progression. The skins that have come out, they're pretty cool. I don't mind unlocking them and equipping them. It's fun. It gives me something to do. I've actually, I hate to admit it, I've actually bought stuff in the online store that I felt like, yeah, I would wear that on my character. Not in real life, obviously, because you don't just wear a skull mask around for the lulz. But yeah, it looked cool. So I'm left to ask the question, is it the fact that it's just Battlefield in the title that makes this game suck? Bear with me and see my logic here. If this game would have came out under a different title and we had zero expectations of it being a Battlefield game, would it sucked as bad as it did? I don't think it would have. I think we would just look at the game as like a fun knockaround and we would have spent some time in it and we probably would have moved on. And again, that's probably the issue. It probably wouldn't have had the initial sales, not without some kind of big marketing and promoting of it. Probably wouldn't have had the initial sales of a Battlefield game, you know? They probably wouldn't have been able to deny all those people their refunds who hated the game right off the bat. You know, it's the truth. Sucks, but it's the truth. So, let's review. EA and DICE were right. The players were wrong. You need to adjust your expectations. You will eat what you are given, and you will like it. Good day. In the end, where do you think they failed us? Leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. Where do you think I messed up? If you liked this content, leave a like, subscribe. There'll be more coming down the pipeline. Have a good night.